Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning into another episode of the Media Buff Podcast, the show about anything and everything media related. And here with my fellow co host, my lovely wife, Jen, Lady Hyperfocus, once again, Lane, and Master of
Hello.
Attitude, Matt. We might have a bonus
Yo,
guest in this episode. We don't know yet, but he might pop in nearing our,
Matt.
our recommendation. So, everybody say hello.
Hello.
hello
Hello.
everybody.
Hello. All right. So, as the second week of the month, and with that is recommendations. This is a segment where we just whatever we want you to check out, we think you might like. We're gonna go ahead and talk about it. And if you do, let us know in the comments or just reach us at the Media Buff Podcast on Instagram. So, that being said, Jen, why don't you go first?
Okay. Well, my recommendation is a movie that came out back in '92 by the
Damn,
title. Yeah.
man,
I mean,
that's
it's like
30 years ago, you
it's like
guys.
a guilty pleasure. I like to watch it, now and again. It's called Class Act.
Oh my god.
Oh, I remember that movie.
What? That's
That's
It's
so
with
good.
the actors that did House Party, the House Party movies,
yeah,
Kid and Play.
Yeah,
kid and play.
yeah.
So it's a mostly majority like African American cast. Uh, so in this one, it's about two guys, which is played by Christopher Reed and Christopher Martin, which are Kid and Play. And then one of the guys is well educated, very smart, by the name of Duncan Pinderhughes.
A
And
Carlton,
yeah,
basically.
and then the other guy, his name is Blade Brown, which has a juvenile record, so it's
Mhm.
kind of like a criminal. And
Somebody's been naughty.
so
Mhm. As
but this
always.
movie is really funny. Like it goes through like they go to the same high school, but there's a nice side to the high school, and then the very
Ghetto
with
side.
all
It's
Ghetto.
the
okay.
ghetto side
It's
of
okay. You
high
can
Super
say
school.
it.
ghetto.
So they're separated by and within the same high school. But it's like a case of mistaken identity.
Yeah.
So what happens is the secretary of the school has their files, both of their files, and somehow ends up colliding with I think it was Duncan. He gets thrown in there or something, and through the office, and the files just go flying, and so his picture and Blade Brown's pictures get swapped in the files. So Duncan gets mistaken for Blade Brown, and Blade Brown gets mistaken for Duncan Prendergast.
Hmm.
And all meanwhile, like so Blade Brown is giving like the royal treatment and everything, while Duncan is going to get aside of the school and getting like almost beat up.
Yeah.
Uh, so there's this guy, this bully that picks on Duncan because
Played by Bernie Mac, by the way.
no, it isn't.
It's not Bernie
No,
Mac?
it's not
It looks
Bernie.
like Bernie
No,
Mac.
it's not Bernie Mac.
Oh.
But yeah, he goes through all these things because this girl hears about Blade Brown and thinks that Duncan is Blade Brown. So she is like attracted to the
Bad
criminal
boys,
type, yeah, to
yeah.
the bad boy type. So she's like hearing like this rap sheet of all the things he's done, and so gets attracted to him. And so this guy, the bully's name is Wedge. And so the
Hmm.
entire time, Wedge is also a drug dealer that's at the school. And the whole time, because the girl likes Duncan, he's like Wedge is on him because of that. They say, "Hey, that's my girl," and all this stuff. And so he just go through all this stuff. So it's just one funny, after another. And also, Blade Brown is supposed to stay out of trouble because they give him a break, and he was in juvie. He did time for a Grand Theft Auto, I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this was
Yeah.
like his last chance before he went to the big
Yeah, he was
house.
on
Yes,
probation.
yes. So he was on probation. So he confronts Duncan and tells him that he needs to be him, pretend to be him and pass his classes. So he lets him live. So they agreed to do that, and the agreement was that Blade was gonna pass phys ed because he's not good at physical education.
Hmm.
So they had a deal going on. Also find out that when Duncan took the field, they had PE, the soccer coach told him to
I thought
kick.
it was football.
Oh yeah, sorry. The football coach told him to kick
I
the
feel well.
ball through the field goal, and he ended up being excelling at being a kicker on
Hmm.
the
Yeah,
football
because
team.
didn't he like pick up the grass, sprinkle it,
Yeah,
compensate for the wind. And
Yeah, he
Mhm.
did. He did
Yeah,
the
he's out
math
there
for
like
it.
he used
this
math and
with his
everything. Yeah.
Yeah,
fingers
he used
measuring
actually
distance.
physics. And then he's like, "Yeah." So the coach was really excited to see that he could kick. That they finally had a decent player on the team. But yeah, like they go through all these up and downs, and it's just one funny thing after another,
Yeah.
with like a slight message of not doing drugs. You know?
Yeah.
With a slight message of "Don't do drugs,
Yeah.
kids."
Yeah. Especially with Duncan, like he kind of starts really embracing the persona
Yes.
of the bad boy.
Yeah. Yeah. He starts getting all brazen with Blade, and he's all like,
You know, I slap you,
"Slap you!"
boy, but I won't
Yeah.
because I like you.
He's all like, "What did you say?"
Yeah, and
I
Blade
said,
has to act like a
I'm
nice boy.
sorry. Yeah, because he's got to behave.
Yeah,
So he's like, I said, I'm sorry. He's
but it's
like,
funny
that's not
because
what it's, I think that's what I thought you said. He's like,
yeah, but it's funny because Blade also he starts attracting a girl who's like a very nice girl,
yes,
and she's bringing out
very
like the
educated.
nice version of him.
Obviously comes from money.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, the girl is actually Hillary from Fresh
Yeah,
Prince.
yeah, that's Hillary from
Oh,
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that is Rhea Perlman. No, no,
Yes.
no, no. Karen Parsons. Karen Parsons.
Yes.
Yeah,
But dude, like all the characters are there have really good chemistry with each other, and it's just a movie that if you just want to kind of like turn off your brain and just want to laugh.
it's very funny. Yeah.
It's
Good soundtrack. A
yes.
good cast.
Oh, Polly Shore's also in it.
Pauly Shore's in it.
that's when
Sam.
Polly Shore was out there and kind of
Exactly.
Yeah,
famous.
when he was Weasel.
hmm
Exactly.
One
Yeah, he
But
thing,
does like a cameo in there.
funny thing you bring up that movie because my one takeaway from that whole entire film, and I will always remember this, and it's when they're both, when it's when what's his name is getting out of the pen. He's like,
Oh
"All right,
yeah,
I got people to do and
Blade
things
Brown.
to see." And they're like, "Wait, don't you mean you got things to do and people to see?" He goes, "No, you know what I mean." And that
Yeah,
has always stuck with me ever since I was a kid.
yeah,
it is, yeah. Like
yeah.
there's a lot of replayability in that movie.
Mhm,
Not to mention the quotes you can just repeat over and over again.
mhm.
Like one in particular is when Blade he and the bully are having an altercation and
With
then
with Wedge.
and he just keeps beating his ass and like
Yeah,
constantly like shoving him in the locker.
yeah. He's like,
But
there's
doesn't
4 or 5 of them
Blade
there.
stand up for
Yes,
For
for
Duncan.
Duncan.
Mhm.
Yes,
for Duncan? He does
Well,
stand.
it
Yeah.
actually the way they have it played out, it makes it seem like Duncan is constantly beating up Wedge,
yeah, because he
where
has
it's
to
actually
keep up.
Blade doing it.
Yeah, because he has to keep up the appearance. Like that he's Blade Brown, so he's
Yeah,
got to keep up with that. That if anybody messes with him, he's gonna beat their ass.
exactly. So like the
So,
people like see that and they think like, okay, this guy is a hard ass, and
hmm
everybody starts like really getting afraid of him, and
yes,
even Blade, like they start treating him with a little more, I wouldn't say respect.
hmm
Like they start
yes,
really relying him for
hmm
stuff, and there's even in times in class that he actually does show some smarts,
yes,
mostly because how drugs are mixed.
yeah,
Because there's one part in like during chemistry class, and he says like, "Oh, if you use this as a
yeah,
catalyst,
yeah.
it works a lot better." And the teacher's like, "How'd you learn that?" Like, "Oh, I used to cook meth."
He also did the part where he gave a dissertation of what was it, the reproductive environment, like the environment and reproduction,
Yeah,
where he was talking about cars and
yeah,
stuff. And so they took it that he was talking about reproduction and environment.
yeah. Because he was talking about exhaust and intake
Yeah.
and manifolds and all this
And
stuff.
and he was saying like, well, lady, where do you think most sex takes place?
That is true. Back then, yeah, that is the reality of it.
No, but you know what I also like about that movie? That while they were playing to be each other, like it actually got Blade Brown to actually start studying
Mm-hmm.
and actually trying hard. And it got Duncan have more like, more
Confidence.
self-esteem, more
Mm-hmm.
confidence in himself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
more backbone.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. This is one of those movies that like just because you see yourself a certain way
Hmm.
doesn't mean you can't change how others perceive you, you know? And it's all like, yeah, it's all about confidence. Like Duncan got more confidence, and even Blade got more confidence
Hmm.
in his schoolwork.
Hmm.
and he realized that he doesn't have to use violence all the time.
Yes.
There the scene where like Duncan is trying to punk him,
Mm-hmm.
he was about to knock him out, but Ellen like actually restrained him, and he showed restrained himself as
Mm-hmm.
well. It's definitely one of those like feel good movies. Like it
Mm-hmm.
has a decent message, like
Yes.
not the best messages. Yeah, but is that the one with Cat Williams? No,
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 I'm
no,
thinking of another
no.
movie. That's another
Probably
movie,
thinking
but
of Friday
No, but
with Cat
I
Williams.
also, yeah, I also liked the character of Popsicle, which is the guy that starts hanging out with Duncan,
yeah,
who also, I think, buys drugs or something too.
I think he's a drug dealer or
Yeah, or
a
some,
crackhead or whatever.
yeah, he owed Wedge money
Yeah,
and stuff for some drugs he had or something, and then he tells him, hey, you can't hang out with me if you're doing drugs, because I don't hang out with people that do drugs. So he
exactly.
starts, paying
Clean
off,
himself.
yeah.
Mm.
And then I like it because so like, because he asked him, "What's your name?" It's like Popsicle. He's
Hmm.
like, why Popsicle? And he's like, I don't know, because witches and I'm cool, but I'm sloppy. It's like I don't really agree with that.
Yeah.
Oh, good. No, it's just, dude, it's just one of those movies that I just like turning off my brain, and just watching
Yeah.
all of the ridiculousness
Yeah.
that goes on.
Also Popsicle was also Zanka in Cool Runnings.
Oh, that
Yeah.
was him.
Did you know that? Did you
Doug
know that,
E.
No
Matt?
wonder
Doug.
he looked
Yeah.
Popsicle
familiar.
was Zanka in Cool Runnings.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a funny guy. The actor's Doug E. Doug. Doug E. Doug.
Dude, another scene that I like with him in it was when he was reading the rap sheet on Blade Brown, and then he saw like, they had the last. Tell him what you did to the last guy. Tell him I did. Tell him. He said like, yeah, 4 contusions with a major conclusion. I was like, oh my gosh, this was so funny.
Yeah.
There's just so many memorable moments that just make you laugh.
It's definitely one of those that you see it, you're probably gonna want to see it again down the line, and then you're probably gonna find yourself quoting on it, even singing the song like
Yeah,
classic.
yeah, they're really 90s,
Yeah, super 90s, like over the top on the chorus and just repeating the title
Yeah,
classic.
work that body. Oh
Good
man,
times, good
yeah,
times.
it's really good movie. I really recommend it. Not because it's like the greatest thing out there, but just because it can make you laugh. Okay,
Yeah.
and it's very quotable. But I think very like relatable.
Hmm. But it's not that long. It's like an hour and
No,
30 minutes.
yeah, it's like an hour and a half. I think so.
Yeah. Back when movies got
Yeah,
to
an
the
hour
point,
38
back when
minutes.
the movies got to the point within an hour and a half, 90 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Lane, you want to go next?
Yeah,
All
I know what I'm
right, let's
doing.
see what you got.
So my recommendations are two shows that kind of exist in the same universe and they're created by the same person. So if you watch one, it kind of doesn't go together, but like it's a very familiar feeling because it's in the same universe. But what I'm talking about is the shows Has Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss. Have you heard of it? I think I've mentioned those to
You
you.
mentioned Hell of a Boss
Mm-hmm.
for sure, but
Yeah,
I haven't
so
heard of
they're
Has Been Hotel.
so
Is
they're created by this chick named Vivian Medrano, and they were originally just YouTube series that got
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
so popular and
Mm-hmm.
developed such a huge like fan base online
Yeah.
that Prime eventually agreed to pick up the series
Oh
and
wow.
air them.
Oh.
And so they just announced that Hell of a Boss is going to be coming to Amazon Prime this year.
Nice.
Has Been Hotel, they added it on there last year. So, what the premise of Hell of a Boss is, because that's what I watched first before I watched Has Been Hotel. Um, so it all takes place in hell, right?
Oh
Because
wow.
Like
I'm
most.
so
familiar with
I'm
Has
just
Been
kidding.
Hotel.
you've seen it?
I haven't seen it, but I've seen clips of it. I have the general gist of it.
Yeah. So essentially, Hell of a Boss revolves around a small assassination business started by the boss. His name is Blitz, and he has three employees named Moxie, Millie and the receptionist who's a hellhound named Luna, who's like his adopted daughter.
Nice.
And together, what we do is people that have died and gone to hell will come to them and then pay them to get revenge on the humans that like did them dirty
Oh,
in
damn.
like their real in the world. So then
Okay.
they have to go to the real world and like assassinate these people and then come back to hell and get paid for it. It's really funny. But it's always
Interesting.
like some crazy shit happening,
Yes.
like randomness. It's
Yes.
hilarious. The cast is great. And the cool thing I like about this show is like you'll just get like random like big actors like that make like guest appearances and you're just like you recognize their voice and you're
Nice.
like, oh
Yes.
shit. Like Norman Reedus was a reoccurring character for a couple
Nice.
times.
Oh,
He
wow.
was he's like this cowboy, like lizard assassin cowboy guy, and
He
like
would be.
it's so funny. And the funny thing about it is it's just like because they're like demons in hell, like
Yeah.
anything goes. So it's just like you get a lot of like queer content, you get a lot of straight content, like
Mm.
Moxie and Moxie and Millie are like this husband and wife demon couple that work for them and Moxie is voiced by the guy who Richard Steven. He does Invader Zim.
Oh, yeah, I know who that is.
Oh,
Hmm.
okay, yeah.
Yeah. And
Nice.
I don't know, it's just hilarious and it's just they do like the crazy shit and the episodes are like not even that long. They're like 20-minute long episodes.
Okay.
Mhm.
And they usually have like a musical part in the
Nice.
episode.
Very
So,
Nice.
and they're always just like, they're always thinking about weird, funny shit. Um, so it's all adult humor, by the way. So it's not something, do not watch it with your children. Okay, unless
Yeah.
you really want them to learn some things and
Yes.
repeat some shit.
Yes.
So it's definitely like an adult humor geared show.
Hmm.
And then Hell of a Has Been Hotel is set in the same hell. And it's about the daughter of the King of Hell. She like starts her own like hotel for like just like demons that only have a somewhere to stay. And so that cast
Hmm.
is really fun because you get there's like this rivalry between like the this guy who does like he's like a radio host, so he's like a famous like radio host in hell, and then you get this guy who's like a famous like TV host, and then they have like this feud that happens throughout like the whole thing. It's really funny, but the humor's great. Like I said, it's adult humor.
Yes.
There's just representation for like everybody. So it's like you got like there's like gay representation, there's like straight representation. There's
Hmm.
just like like it's great. I really love it,
Just
and
a bit
I
of
can't
everything.
recommend it. Yeah, it's like a bit of everything, and I can't
Nice.
recommend it enough. So if you
Hmm.
have Amazon Prime, definitely check out Has Been Hotel, which has one season on there. And then, like I said, I believe Hell of a Boss is getting added sometime this year. I had the date, but of course I lost it. And but you could
Yeah.
everything on Netflix.
How many
Like
seasons does Hello Buzz have?
Hell of a Boss has two seasons.
Okay.
So there's two seasons
And
of
these are
that
animated shows, right?
Yeah.
animated shows. Yeah.
Nice.
Once you see them, you'll probably be like, "Oh, I've seen like these characters
Okay.
online or
I
people
think
Okay.
you
dressed up
sent I
as
think
these
you've sent clips on the
characters."
gram. Like it
Well,
Yeah.
also, like when Lane said has been Hotel, I'm like, pretty sure I know that name. And I did a quick Google search.
Mhm.
I'm like, yeah, I've seen clips on like TikTok and shit or YouTube and
Hmm.
okay.
but I haven't sat down and watched like a full episode. But
Okay.
I'm aware of it. And it does
Yeah.
look interesting.
I think I saw a
I,
clip of Hell of a
Yeah,
there's
Buzz,
Lane sent
uh,
clips here
right?
and there on the gram.
I
They're
don't know
pretty
if
Yeah.
Lane
funny.
I don't know if Lane sent this clip. I saw this clip this where this demon gets summoned and it's by like this girl who has like infatuation with demons and he's like, oh, you're one of those because she's like, oh, take me, my dark daddy.
Oh my
I think Lane did send that one because I think I remember seeing it.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Because
Yeah.
she's like
So
having
it's
him
pretty
do all
funny.
these daddy daughter things, right? Daddy daughter like day or something like
I
that.
don't know. I just saw the part where he gets summoned and she's like, "Oh, me, mercy." And he's like, he looks around the room, he sees like all her fucking like books about like fantasy demons and fucking and all that
Oh
other
my
stuff.
goodness.
He's like, "Oh, you're one of those."
Yeesh.
Yep. Yeah. It's just a
Oh
lot of like
gosh.
a lot of funny humor, it's a lot of blood, murder, and violence. But it's like, there's like some real
Mhm.
genuine like character growth and character development that happens. Like they get some real serious storylines in there. So it's not
Oh
just all
wow.
just like,
Interesting.
oh, whatever, whatever,
Yes.
like
It's not just
it's
random
great.
nonsense.
Yeah. And the guy that just like voices Blitzo, it's like the best. It's like it's like the perfect voice for that character. And I can't even
Mhm.
describe it until you like watch it,
Mhm.
watch a few episodes, and you're like, I don't know who else could have voiced this character like
I
as
think you
good as
sent a
this
clip
guy.
where
Like,
they have like a musical segment at the end and they're singing a song. I forgot what the song was about though, but it's a pretty messed up song with the lyrics, but it has an interesting point to get across. Like,
yeah, it's a great show. You should definitely check it out. Like I said, you always get like an interesting like guest that pops in and like voices
mhm.
like a character, or sometimes they'll
Nice.
bring the character back. So yeah, I don't know. I just think they're really fun, and it's had such a good time watching them. Every time I watch them, so definitely check them out.
Yeah, so
Definitely sounds
it sounds so
interesting.
interesting. Yeah.
It's so fun.
I'm pretty sure it's got a pretty good following because shows like that, like people like get really hooked into shows like that.
Oh man. So like
Like,
when an
Mhm.
episode drops for that show, it will get a million views in like the first
damn,
thirty
that's
minutes. Yeah.
crazy.
After being like videos that after they're posted for like a couple hours are easily in the 4.2 million watches.
Wow.
Like people really like fucking tune in for this show.
Yeah,
Like
Well,
they
it's
really
not that
do.
long and it's
that's
entertaining.
true. Like
So
easy to digest. Is
nowadays, like the shorter the
yeah, the
better.
shorter the better. Yeah, like
Well, that's because of doom scrolling and people's attention
and
span getting
I
TikTok.
think
short.
TikTok did that
Yeah,
mostly though,
Yeah, that's what I
yeah,
mean by the doom scrolling. You get
Yeah.
on TikTok
yeah.
and people. I think it's super cool that people do something and make something really interesting
Mhm.
in within 60 seconds. I think
Yes.
that is cool, but there is the negative side where that's what people want. They
Hmm.
start to lose their attention span
Yeah.
versus
Yeah,
watching something long formatted.
Mhm.
yeah. Half of
Mhm.
it though is like actually not even attention span. It's like
Mhm.
people just literally don't have the time to do that.
Mhm.
Like at best, you know, my doom scrolling is like an hour when I get home or on my lunch, and that's it. Like any other time is like I'm not I'm
Mhm.
barely on my phone, but yeah, but I would
I
definitely check it out. It's on Prime, right, Lane?
Yep, it's on Amazon Prime.
Has been Hotel and
And Hell of a Boss is
Hell
getting
of a
added.
Boss.
Yeah, Hell of a
That's
Boss
funny.
is getting added sometime this year, maybe even this summer. They just
Nice.
like made an announcement for it and
All
released
right.
a video and everything.
All
So,
right. So even though they're on Amazon now, you can still find it on YouTube, right?
yep,
Where they originally started.
yes.
Nice.
You
All
That's
watch
right.
cool.
all of everything is on YouTube. So if you
All
don't
right.
want to wait for it to be on Amazon Prime, just search like you can just search up Hell of a Boss or Has Been a Hotel on YouTube and it'll all the episodes will pop right up for you.
It's
Nice.
true that YouTube has almost that has everything. Just
Dude,
about. That's how
they
I
stepped
watch
up their
Hmm.
Berserk.
game.
I was gonna recommend a show too, but since we already had a couple of shows to recommend it, plus like I was mostly wanting to recommend it because I wanted to hear Omar's take on it, but instead I'm gonna go ahead and recommend the game. And with all the Predator talk going around in Hollywood and all that, and the new movies that are coming out, and a possible show, and maybe even finally getting Alien versus Predator being canon, Matt,
It's not canon though.
regardless, I recommend the game Predator Hunting Grounds. It's an online.
Really?
Hell yeah, dude!
We play that.
They really stepped it up. I was actually
Okay.
watching Jeremy playing it a couple of days. One, they added the Predator from the new Prey movie, so if you want to play as him, you can now. Basically, the game is a multiplayer game. It's 4v1. You can play either as the Predator or as a squad during of soldiers, kind of like Dutch did in the first Predator movie with his army buddies.
Mhm.
And your job is simple, like kill or be killed by the Predator.
All right, I have a quick question for you
Yep,
because when we played it together, we found it was kind of the pain to be in the predator,
it was. Yeah,
and then like we and when you're the trooper, it was so easy to win, and we
yeah.
won most. It was like really one sided, super
In the favor of
unbalanced.
the crew. Yeah,
Did they change that? Because
heavily
that's
changed, dude. Like
okay.
now they made it so if a predator, especially the player playing as a predator, is playing at a true stealth mode, he can easily take the entire team out in one fell swoop without really attacking them or doing any kind of heavy combat. You can now do sneak attacks where you literally will grab your opponent, swing him up into the tree, kill him right then and there, and then take his spine and his skull.
Just true
Uh,
predator. So
exactly. Now you can tailor make your predator if you're playing as a predator for your play style. Let's say you want just a plasma caster and a spear, or you want to go fully loaded with the smart disc, the net gun. You even want something like the saw blade that you can throw and it bounces and cuts everything in its path. Uh,
Oh yeah.
they added almost every weapon on the Predator side that you can think of from all the films, including some of the comic books. They even added some that you weren't even too familiar with. Like I don't know if you remember Requiem. He kind of made a 2 barrel shotgun with the plasma caster,
I do remember that, but
so
that
you can
movie
use
is
that as
still
a Predator
awful.
now. And of course, the Marines, dude, you could do whatever it is if you're in the Marines. You want an LMG, take an LMG. You want a freaking minigun, take the minigun. You want a high powered sniper rifle, you're more than welcome to. You can use mud to conceal yourself from the predator, or you can even use a tactical position where, let's say, because they do technically give you a task to do in the game where you're running a mission, like you have to kill some cartels, you have to extract some information. But during that process, if the predator engages you, they change the mission and they tell you, okay, now you got to take down the predator, or you got to get to
Yeah.
the exfil zone
mhm.
and get away from the predator.
What do they call that? When your directive changes, like the primary.
Yeah, your
There's a
primary
word for it,
directive has changed.
but it's like
Priority
fucking
one, yeah,
priority objective
yeah.
or something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Where
Plus, on top of that, every mission you run, you get to at least revive your comrades at least once. So let's say the predator takes everybody down except you. You have at least one chance to bring everybody back to turn the tide because it's not
okay,
super one sided on each side anymore. Like if you have a team that is on point, they're back to back, they cover their sixes. The predator might not have a chance against them, but if you have a team that is like they're running around, they're being sloppy, they're being loud, and you have somebody playing as a predator who's very tactical, very sneaky, uses all his abilities, you're gonna be able to sweep them without any problem. Plus,
okay.
let's say you take down the predator, he always has the ability to do a countdown to blow himself up, and you have about 30 seconds to negate that countdown. If you negate it, you win and you get like a bonus pay after that. But if you don't, you get blown up. So it's definitely one of those games that like even either side, depending on how well you play it, it is gonna be a lot of fun because if you're playing as a Marines and you know where the predators and you don't let him get the drop on you,
Mhm.
you're gonna have a fun hunting him down. But if you're the predator and you're doing very tactical simulation, and you're doing very sneaky attacks, and you're even setting up traps because you can set up traps now, you're gonna be able to like really keep them on their toes and make sure the team doesn't get too close to you or doesn't do
Mhm.
too much damage to you because they can hit you, they can shoot you. You can heal yourself, but only so many times. But regardless, either way, like the game has really stepped it up from its initial launch. It came out in 2022, I think.
Okay.
2021 maybe. It's been out for a minute. But ever since the movie Prey came out, they added a bunch of DLC to it. Arnold lent his voice to the game, so now you can find these videotapes that he recorded, and it talks about his encounter with the Predator after he was debriefed in the first film. And they even have some with the late Carl Weathers where he talks about like, oh, this mission,
2020.
yeah, this mission is gotta be executed this way, and just stuff like all around that really adds a nod to people who love the franchise and really like the first movie, because I think to this day I think a lot of people do think that the first one is just the best one of them all. Like
And the game is kind of modeled after
the
this,
game
so
is
no?
almost a Model T after the movie, but
I don't know. Second one's really good too.
I like the second one too.
yeah. No, don't get me
I,
wrong. Two is not without its like
Hmm.
it's like badassness. I'm just saying like a lot of people will argue with you and say like no the first one is the best one. Mostly because of Arnold.
I like
yeah,
both of them.
but come on, but shoot does such a good job of because there's like a team of special forces people in the
Hmm.
jungle in the first one
Hmm.
going against this thing. They have decent training and are the best of the best,
Hmm.
right? So
Yeah.
they kind of have a better chance. In the
Yes.
second one, Danny Glover's a regular fucking cop.
Yeah.
And he has to fucking
The,
deal with an alien that
yeah.
murders people from
And the
space that
fact that
Yeah.
he
has
survived it
every
though.
yeah, and the fact not only did he survive, but he won
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
gained their respect.
Well,
Hmm.
Like
yeah, because he did a lot with very little.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's what I think with like that's why like I say like I say it's a tie between the first two.
Yeah.
Because like the
yes.
story for the first one, you don't know what it is, you don't know what's going on.
Yes.
So the
Hmm.
setup is great. And
Hmm.
then the second one, it's someone in an extraordinary situation that needs to come out on top.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not to mention the dialogue in the second one was just so
That's
much
really good.
better.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
no offense to Arnold and let's get to the chopper. I just like freaking
Stick
Paxton
around.
going
Yeah.
like Paxton, dude. Just like
Bill Paxton.
he
Yeah.
was such a good character in that one. And then you have Rosita. I forget her last name. She was such a badass in that one.
Hmm.
Plus, you get to learn a little
Maria
more about the
Conchita Alonso.
predator. Yeah, Maria
That's
Conchita.
true.
Plus, you actually get to learn a
Hmm.
little more about the predator in the second one. The fact that
Hmm.
he won't kill a pregnant woman.
Yes.
But yeah, definitely check out Predator Hunting Grounds. It's on Xbox, PC, and PlayStation. It's really cheap to get now. It's like $10, I think. It's only digital, which kind of disappointed me, which is weird because it felt like it would have been better as a physical game. But you can get it enhanced if you're on the PS5 or on PC. There's a lot of DLC to it. I think it's all free. I think the only paid DLC that you have to pay for is if you want to get a specific skin that lets you look like what's his name from the movie Predators did when he had the mask on.
Mm.
Uh
Dude,
Oh,
they
Adrian
have.
Brody.
no, Morpheus, the guy who plays Morpheus. I forget his name.
Oh, Lawrence
Dude.
Fishburne.
Yeah, I think that's the only DLC you have to pay for, like to get
Oh,
a skin to look like him.
Dude.
yeah. The thing with those asymmetrical games, a lot of the time they're not very well balanced. It's
Hmm.
usually like one sided. And there's John.
Dude. All the add-ons that they have an Anubis
Yeah. Hmm.
and Anubis
Yeah, they have
Predator
skin.
pack.
They have skins for the Predator as well.
Freaking a witch Predator DLC pack.
Yeah, yeah, and
This look crazy.
they're all free, I think.
But the Anubis looks badass
Yeah,
though.
that
I
does look
really like
badass. Yeah.
that.
Regardless, definitely a fun game to play if you have friends to play with. Like if you want to be the Predator and they're gonna be the
Yeah.
Rangers, or it's vice versa.
Well, I was going to say is that a lot of these asymmetrical type games have a lot of balancing issues. It sounds like they kind of fixed that. They made it pretty even.
They really did. And again, it all depends on the player. Like you can
Okay.
have a player of like decked out, armed to the teeth, army rangers, but if they're running around like a bunch of idiots, trying to solo it, they're gonna get murked.
They
And
even have a Samurai Predator DLC pack.
yeah,
That's cool.
yeah, they went heavy with the DLC in this one.
Yeah, they
Like
did.
they wanted a replayability for people, especially if you're playing as a predator. because
That's cool though.
you can see the predator. It's not a first person view, which I was happy about because I didn't like that. Yeah, but definitely check it out, folks.
Yeah, there's a lot of DLC for that.
John, thank you for joining.
Hello.
Hello,
Matt
everyone.
kept
Everyone say hi to John, our special guest star from the Gamecologist.
Matt kept
Hello.
bugging me. Hello.
Yeah, he was telling us like, oh, I'll drag him into this, guys. Don't worry. Like he wants to go to bed, but I'm not gonna let him. Like
Nah, I work nights. It's fine.
it's 5 a.m. where he is, but I don't care.
It's only 12.
Yeah. But well, thank you for joining, John. For this episode, we're doing recommendations. Jen, Lane, and I already did ours. Matt, you want to go next, or you want to let John go for it?
John can go last. He showed up late. Fuck
All
him.
right, all right, John. You got something to recommend, right? Not the gamecologist, by the way.
Yeah, I got something.
All right, Matt. Why don't you go next?
Well, like Lane, I have two things that I would like to recommend. But
All right.
speaking of Arnold, it would be his documentary about him and his life.
That was a good
That
one.
was such a good documentary, and I'm
Mhm.
not like a huge documentary person, but you learn. I learned so much about him. I mean, I already knew a lot about the guy just because we grew up with him. We grew up on his
Mhm.
movies, and we know who he is.
Mhm.
He was the governor of our state.
Mhm.
My like
The
all the
governor.
all the behind the scenes stuff that you learn about him and the
Mhm.
type of person he is. Like I could see why people would like kind of hate on him, but also
Mhm.
it's really hard not to just because of his charisma, and he's
Yeah.
always had that. But at the same time, he's generally like a really nice guy.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard. I mean, he's not perfect in any way. Like
True.
he has his skeletons and he's had allegations against him. A lot of people forget about those, but all overall, he's such a charismatic sob that you overlook those things because he's like
Well, it's not just that, but he owns up to his mistakes.
he does own
Oh
up to them,
god.
and
He'll say, "Yeah, I fucked up here. I'm sorry about
mm,
it. I learned from it,"
mm,
and then he moves on. And
yeah,
and I think like we need more people like that
yeah,
to like own up to their mistakes, and especially people who are famous and who have a position of influence.
oh yeah, 100%. Plus
But
his feud with Sly is really funny.
Mm.
it was, and it just made them both be better and
Yeah.
want to be better at their craft.
Yeah,
And
because they
then
would literally do a movie to top the other one's movie.
I like how Arnold, he goes, one of my favorite things I've ever done is when I fucked over Sylvester Stallone for "Stop or my mom will shoot."
Mhm.
Forgot about that.
Yeah,
Not to
he's
not
he still that still makes him smile that he got Sylvester Stallone to fall for that.
yeah,
Mhm.
not to mention that the guy will buy cigarettes for everybody he meets. Like almost everybody that's
Cigar,
had worked in a movie
cigars.
with him, they always said like, yeah, he bought me a box of stogies. Like that.
Mhm.
It's like, yeah, you gotta try these. You gotta love them. They're
Mhm.
the best.
Yeah.
Like he got Carl Weathers to smoke, Sly, Jean Claude. Who else? Get Mel Gibson. He got him to smoke. Yeah, the
Well,
guy
Mel
will.
Gibson was already a cigarette smoker
Oh,
to begin
he
with.
already likes stogies.
Well, no, he was just a cigarette smoker, but that's why, like in Lethal Weapon 2 or 3,
Mm-hmm.
they have the. That's when Mel Gibson's trying to smoke and real quit smoking in real life, and they
Okay,
add that to like the movie.
nice. That's funny. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard to hate Arnold. Like, despite
It
his
is.
flaws, the whole thing with Maria,
Mhm.
the whole thing with his son. It's hard to hate the guy.
Mhm.
Plus, he has his own tank.
Well, yeah, but he admits it. That's a toy. He's like, I don't need it. It's a
Yeah.
toy. I'm just old now.
Plus, it's thanks to him that the Hummer is a civilian vehicle now.
That's true. That's
Like
very
the Hummer
true.
was strictly a military vehicle, but he wanted one so badly that he asked the military if he can have one, and they ultimately gave in. And now you see Hummers everywhere.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't really have much to say for the documentary except for like how good it is and
Hmm.
like what it shows you. It shows you every single side of Arnold,
Oh yeah.
and
Like.
it's in a more of a positive type of thing too. Because I know there's like a lot of documentaries out there, like even though the victims or the families of the victims have asked people to stop doing this, but there's always a new Jeffrey Dahmer documentary of sorts. And it's like that stuff is
Mhm.
like super negative. We all know what it's about. We don't need to go on about it. But it's nice to see a documentary that isn't so
Dark.
negative and dark. Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly.
Although I mean, they do talk about a lot of the stuff that he went through and like the stuff he had to go through to get where he is,
Yeah.
especially in his younger days. Like you wouldn't believe it, but he went through a lot growing up, like
He
especially
did
with his
that.
family.
Well, yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
it was crazy. Speaking of that, it was crazy to hear it from the other side because we're Americans, and we when we talk about World War II, we're like, "Fuck yeah, we won."
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And where he's from Austria, which
Oh,
they
yes.
fought for Germany, and
Yeah.
they were the losing side. He said it was very different.
Hmm.
Is that like his father was an alcoholic because of it, and
Hmm.
like everyone was always depressed and
Hmm.
sad because they
Jeez.
lost the war. Like
Hmm.
we don't know that side of it.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah. It's all about
and
perspective.
it is
Mm-hmm.
all about perspective. And he and like and when he started to get into bodybuilding and what's his name who was in the early 60s or the 50s who did
Um, who did
Hercules.
Hercules? Uh-huh.
Yeah,
That
I
was his like
forget.
idol.
Yeah, he had
Yeah.
him up on his bedroom
Hmm.
wall and stuff. His parents thought he was a little gay because of it.
Yeah.
Because back then the mentality was very different. And he's
Exactly. Yeah.
like, no,
He's my hero.
he's my hero. I'm like, that's a superhero physique. I want that physique.
Hmm.
But he has like a shirtless dude that's all like shiny and glistening. So
Yeah. Wearing a speedo.
yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
come on. That's kind of on the nose.
I know. I just love the fact that um people always associate for whatever reason always associated with that with homosexuality when you look at all these statues of half naked men, Michelangelo's David,
Mhm.
like is showing their physique and showing their naked body. And then now, like in the night between like the 50s and the 90s, not then, maybe the 80s, like for whatever reason associated with homosexuality, like you couldn't have a wrestler's poster up on your wall because for whatever reason they thought you were fruity. It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah,
What
yeah.
happened to like being okay with aesthetics, being able to appreciate the aesthetics of another male? Yeah, like
It's the
it's not a
government
big deal now.
brainwashing us to make more children.
It's not a big deal now, but like back in the days, it's like yeah,
Essentially.
it's like why are you looking at muscle men? Like why are you looking at these roided out guys fighting each other? It's like it's kind of gay. I'm like, no, we're admiring the physiques. Macho Man Randy Savage had a great physique. Granted, these guys were all on steroids, but still, like Barry
Well,
Bonds, Ken Griffey Jr., all these guys, like, yeah, they're all roided muscle freaks, but hey, they had nice physiques.
right. Yeah, and also the documentary does go and it talks about like his issues with his father.
Yeah,
And like he stopped talking to his father.
yeah, he did. Yeah,
And and um I think the last time he spoke to him was on his deathbed. Like
yeah,
his mother called him and told him like, "Hey, he's dying. You need to come see him." And it was
yeah,
only because she asked him to that he
exactly.
did
Yeah,
it. And it's because he's always had a close relationship with his mom.
yeah, yeah. He
And
loves his mom.
mhm.
He
It's
loves
his
And-
her.
mom.
Yeah,
yeah,
he's
every
a
boy
big
loves their
mama's
mom.
boy.
Yeah.
He's a big
I
mama's
think
boy.
most guys are,
Like
Yeah.
you do see that like big bulky guys who like
Yeah.
mamas.
They're the
Wasn't there a movie where
they're the biggest teddy bears.
wasn't there a movie where he plays like a kind of a mama's boy and he has to like protect his mom from like mobsters or something? Or was that
I
Sly?
think that's Sly
That
and
was
Mom
That
Don't
was
Sly.
Sly.
Stop
Okay.
when my
Don't
mom will
You Know?
shoot.
Yeah, there you
Yes,
go.
that's right. I forgot about that one. Honestly, I feel like if Arnold had done it, I think it would have been better.
Nah, Arnold read the script and he knew it's gonna fail,
Yeah.
so that's why he tricked
Well,
Sylvester
I liked
Stallone
it.
into getting it.
I liked it too.
I think it
Yeah,
was
it
bad,
had its moments.
especially because the little old lady.
Like, I'll
But
give you this: it was better than Junior.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, actually, there was a kind of some funny moments in
I
that.
mean, to me,
it
his
wasn't
best
all
to
bad.
me his best movies will always be Turbo Man.
I thought you were
Yeah,
gonna
it's
say Kindergarten
twins. You
Cop.
fucking, it's twins, motherfuckers.
Jingle
It's
all the
twins.
jingle all the way.
yeah, Jingle All the Way
Everybody
is
has
like
a
the
different
best
opinion.
film ever.
Twins
That
with him and Danny DeVito.
Oh
I
no,
say
that was
Kindergarten
good too.
Cop.
Can't forget about
him,
True Lies.
him and
yeah.
Yes, but they were all bad.
yeah, yeah.
But and also I like at the end of his documentary on the final episode, um, he tells everybody, he goes, everyone says I'm self-made and I came from nothing. It's true, I came from nothing, but I had a lot of help along the way because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people did help him. Like when he came out here to America, to start with the with the
Bodybuilding.
bodybuilding,
Mm-hmm.
he had a coach, and
Mm-hmm.
coach allowed him to sleep at the gym
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
like put money in his pocket and all this
Mhm.
other stuff. And yeah, so he never forgot where he came from.
No, yeah,
And
that's really
so
good.
when he made it to the position that he did, like in Hollywood,
Mhm.
he always tried to help the little guy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And now, speaking of those roided up wrestlers, the other documentary I want to recommend for people to watch is the Vince McMahon.
Oh my God.
Oh, God. Actually,
Yeah.
I wanted to watch that. Actually,
It's a good one, dude.
is it?
It is
I
Man.
need I need to watch it.
such
For
a-
the record, Matt, for the record, they left out a lot of
They
what they
did.
talked about.
they
Really?
did.
So much because
What?
he's
Yeah.
going to jail.
I know,
dude.
but the question here is like, why did they leave all that out though? You
Because
know?
Well,
because it would be self-incriminating.
Mhm.
I thought they
Yeah.
made it before it happened.
He pleads
And
the fifth.
they
on it.
did.
Well, we don't
John,
really know that he
eh,
did those things. I mean,
no,
he never.
but-
But to be honest, like he never hid who he was. You could see it. He wasn't even acting.
It wasn't a persona.
was,
no,
That's
you know,
Vince
John,
McMahon.
That's
Yeah.
Vince McMahon through and through.
John,
Yeah.
enlighten Jen of what he's in trouble for.
Oh,
And
no,
by the
she
way,
knows.
I
No,
know.
she knows.
I know,
that they were
because there's
Brock
another-
Lesnar.
Yeah.
Human
Because of
trafficking,
what?
essentially.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
of what?
Human trafficking. Yeah.
That's
human
one
trafficking.
of the. That's
Oh,
one
yeah,
of
that's
the
one of
things.
the
I don't know.
charges.
That's
all
one
of
of the
them.
allegations.
But,
Rape, assault,
Dude, there's another.
drugs.
There's another allegation.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one
Like-
with Brock Lesnar.
Mhm.
No, but there's another allegation with Shawn Michaels.
Yes.
Did you hear
Oh,
that one?
That he was diddling
That
Sean.
he was dealing Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why he had the heartbreak.
Well, I
kick.
mean, wouldn't you?
I mean, when he does that pose, I'm not gonna lie. I always look down at Sean when he did that pose. He was with Triple H behind him, all like roided out, you know.
Well, I mean,
Don't get me wrong, like I like Triple H, but Sean just had the prettier face, you know.
no, well, he did have.
he's a
pretty
handsome
face.
guy.
That's a cool episode.
Yeah.
Glad you could join. Glad you could join, John.
But
Dude,
Get him
I
out
was
of
just
here.
like, okay, I
Alright,
know
so-
he was definitely taking advantage of women. I just didn't know it was men in there too. I was not aware of
okay, so let's break
That's
down real
gangster
quick.
shit. Sorry.
that. Well, it's because isn't it like it's not even weird anymore? Like the more money people have, the more perverse shit they're into.
Look at Diddy.
Nothing makes you happy anymore, I guess.
Well, the thing is too, so like the thing with Vince McMahon, when they made the documentary, the things with Brock Lesnar, that allegation was just coming out. So
Yeah.
towards the end,
Mhm.
Vince was no longer part of the show.
No.
That's why at the it's like the second to last or last episode, there's a
Yes.
disclaimer about that.
Yeah.
It says due to legal reasons, Vince
Yep.
McMahon will no longer be on the show.
Yeah.
But they interviewed Cody Rhodes, who is
Mhm.
Dusty Rhodes' grandson.
Mhm.
Yes,
Um,
who's still
They-
in the WWE,
They
right?
also interviewed
Yeah.
Diamond Dallas Page.
Atlas, or is it Atlas or Junkyard Dog?
Junkyard Dog.
Okay. and
Owen Hart, not Owen Hart, Bret Hart.
Bret Hart. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
Bret Hart
man.
hates Vince, dude.
Well,
He hates
can
Vince.
you
Well, the
blame him?
Montreal.
Yeah,
like,
the Montreal
I
screw
mean,
job. Yeah.
yeah.
But
Like to
speaking
this day,
about
he
that,
holds a grudge for that.
But speaking about that, Bret was kind of a dickhead because he wouldn't put anyone over.
Yeah.
He wouldn't, relinquish the title, and that title doesn't belong to Bret Hart. That title belongs to the WWE.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So if your boss tells you you need to lose the championship and this is who the new champion is going to be, you have to follow the rules.
Yeah.
Bootlicker.
Yeah, but he was a kind of a hothead.
No, yeah, Bret is a hothead. Like,
Well, I mean, you
there's
put
no
that
def-
together
I
with
mean,
roids, it ain't gonna end
he's
well.
just as bad as Vince, but the way they screwed him
Yes.
over, like to this day, he's still not happy.
I say
Yeah.
that Owen got screwed more than Brett, though.
No, yeah,
to be
Owen for
honest.
sure. Well, he's dead.
Owen
Well,
died.
I mean, I'm talking about like before he died.
Yeah.
Like all the
Oh.
shit they put him through.
Yeah,
like,
no, I mean the guy was,
I was just like,
hopped up on
oh,
drugs and
man,
roids.
that
so,
yeah.
sucks, dude.
yeah.
I mean, like, I
Not to
like.
mention the storylines.
No,
I
and
do. I do like the WWE. They're
Yeah.
like, it's mostly going to be the Attitude Era.
Yes, that was my
That's
favorite era as well.
That's what we grew up with. But
Yep.
Dude, but looking
Um,
back, Matt, didn't you see all the smut they got away with?
yeah,
All the
especially-
fucking heavy.
It was called
smut.
Monday Night Raw for a reason. It was live and it was raw.
And that's why it was called also SmackDown.
And SmackDown was SmackDown for a
Because
reason.
Vince was smacking down on people. That's
But-
Not
And then
to
it was
mention Ed.
SmackDown versus Raw, and it was just porn.
Basically, yeah. We had an episode with Edge and Lita getting in on in the
oh,
middle
yeah,
of the
in the
ring.
middle of the ring.
Dude, but this documentary shined a huge light onto Vince McMahon, and like the dude is a piece of shit.
Yeah, he is.
Oh yeah.
But
I mean,
but-
but that was a given. I mean,
Yeah.
but like for what he did, like for sports entertainment,
Yeah. Like the WWE would not exist with actually wrestling would not exist, or the wrestling that we have now would not exist if it weren't for him.
Yeah.
mhm.
Like 100%. Like you can't argue with that.
yeah, and I think that's what Junkyard Dog said.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's like the one thing you can't take away from him is him
Mhm.
being
Yeah.
like the best, like quote unquote sports promoter there is.
Yeah, and keep in mind he
Mhm.
started as a promoter. He started as the announcer.
Yes,
he
he
was the
did.
guy who called in the matches and all that. Like he didn't
He did
didn't
interviews.
Dude,
inherit
he-
he didn't inherit the WWF, the
no,
WWE.
he sweezeled his dad out of the
Yeah.
business.
Damn right he
Yes.
did. Yeah.
He took that shit from his dad because his
Yeah.
dad wasn't going to give it to him.
Yeah.
And
But-
so, like, he
Considering
traded-
that his dad wasn't really managing it well, because it was way worse when his dad was managing it, if you look into it.
that's true. They were losing a shit ton of money. And Vince is like, I could do something with this.
Mhm.
Yeah. I could do so much better with it.
Yes.
And he did.
Yeah.
In spite of everything he did,
Like-
like every bad thing he did,
He's a
he
scummy
still-
piece of shit, but
he is.
he made that company what it is.
It really is. Like Stephanie and Triple H, dude, they are literally on top of his back because of that. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't care what you say. Triple H played the long con.
Of course
He
he
I
did.
don't
did.
care what you say.
He
Everybody
married
says like
Stephanie on purpose.
everybody
Now
says
he
like no, that
controls
wasn't
the-
It also
it.
helps that she's not bad looking. So
Oh yeah.
No, don't get
look
me
at those
wrong.
titties.
I mean-
Don't get
You
me
know?
wrong. I do believe that they are a happily married couple,
uh-huh.
but Triple H only gave her a look because he knew what was gonna be the end game if he got with her.
Well, yeah, but in the process they did.
No,
other
yeah, they
people
did fall in
dirty.
love. It is
No, they did other people dirty. You
Oh,
know who
yeah.
I'm talking about.
China
Yeah.
for one. I forget who, the lady
Her
that
story is so sad.
yeah,
Yeah.
her story
Yeah.
is really
China's?
sad.
Yeah, it's
super
very
sad.
very sad. I just-
so sad.
Yeah,
And they also did Chris Benoit dirty.
Chris Benoit. Yeah,
Yeah.
They-
Yeah. His
And then
fucking
the
story
guy-
is real sad too. He
Look,
killed
I
his
don't
fucking
care.
wife and kid the whole damn
Yeah,
Mhm.
here's the thing. Like, I don't care. Like, it's fine. Like, you know, like okay, whatever happened in his personal life is his personal life, but to pretend like he didn't have a career there,
Yeah, that it
or
didn't
just scrap him
exist,
under just because of that, like
or at least
I
acknowledge
was
him.
like, separate the two.
Yeah,
Acknowledge his career as a wrestler. We're not condoning, if he did do it or not, because the guy's not alive anymore.
yeah,
But whatever the case may be, you do not throw someone's career under the bus, like especially if he brought so many, like views to,
yeah.
people
He
to watch
really
the
did.
show because
Yeah,
he was a really good technical wrestler.
yeah. One of the best.
Yeah,
Like
he
to
did.
this
The
He,
day,
Rock too.
Brock.
Yeah.
Yeah, to this
Yeah,
day,
buried
like
him.
people still applaud his prowess and his skills,
Mhm.
and that's exactly what they're doing with Vince. Like Vince, POS, but they still are capable of overlooking his misconducts and
I don't
admit
think
that.
we can overlook it. It's just we can we can see what he did for the WWE,
Mhm.
but you're still a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, you're still going to jail.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're not a good human
It's like,
being,
hey,
but
hey, thanks for everything you did for the WWE. Now you're going to jail.
well, it's like to learn to separate the two. You
Yeah,
gotta
yeah, separate the art from the artist. But I
like,
mean, he should still go to jail.
no, I
He
mean,
should-
yeah, he's obviously guilty.
Like Trish Stratus is testifying against him. I think
Has the
Lita
Undertaker?
is
Her and
Taker
like
is
50 other women.
yeah.
And how
Mhm.
many women?
Stacy
like,
Keebler. Who else is testifying against him? Pretty much that
is
whole
Tori
ladies
Wilson
roster.
also?
Tori Wilson is testifying against
Well,
him.
also it's not the divas or the stars. It's
No, it's also like the people behind the scenes.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
what masseuses and other,
Not just like the road employees. Like
Yeah.
there were times that he didn't pay
Alright,
people
speaking
to
of-
set the stadium and whatnot.
yeah.
Damn.
But also speaking of like road employees, his right hand man at the time, he was like the vice president.
Yeah.
Or
Yes.
like the third guy in charge was a huge pedophile.
Mhm.
Ooh.
Yeah, and so he would
Oh my gosh.
like 16-year-old boys and stuff. He
Oh,
would
God.
Mhm.
he would find he would do his thing with them, and
Yeah,
I could say they were on the road all the time.
Yeah.
I know.
It was hard to prove it, but once the story broke, because I forgot who the journalist was, but he went after them hard.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
And-
they had people go after them multiple times.
Yes.
There were multiple allegations against the WWF.
Mhm.
Not just
Mhm.
Vince, but the WF in general.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like who's the guy like baby the legend killer? Randy Orton.
Randy.
Randy Orton, he
RKO.
caused a lot of trouble in his early days. So
yeah, his friend there, Melvin,
Melvin,
the guy with the eyebrows.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He if you watch his YouTube,
Or
like
Malvo, I think.
Maven.
Maven,
There
thank
you
you,
go.
John.
That's his
Thank
name.
you,
Maven.
John.
If you watch his YouTube channel, he kind of talks about that stuff. Like he talks about like how Randy Orton was was a wild person back in the day.
Super wild, dude.
I mean,
He got into fights a lot. He harassed fans.
but
He-
again, you can see it. Like
Yeah.
there was no hiding it. They were just
I
being
know.
themselves.
Yeah.
Like you can see it through and through.
Yeah,
They
but-
say they're playing a character. Nah, you're
No,
being you.
that's him.
You're
yeah.
being you.
Nah, it's
dude.
real.
Wrestling
No, but-
is not fake. I don't care what you say.
Turns out it's real the whole time, and we're
Yeah,
all
right?
Wrestling is not fake.
So people are gonna think I'm playing a persona, but I'm just being just shitty old self.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, before like with Hulk Hogan, you had like the superhero versus the villains and stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then the Attitude
heels.
Era came.
Yes.
Attitude Era came, so it wasn't like
There aren't
good guy
any
versus
heels.
bad guy. It
Yes.
was like anti-hero versus the villain type of deal.
More like the stickler and the wild one. You know, like
yeah.
the clean cut one.
Yes.
The one follows the rules against the attitude boys. You know, like D-Generation X made us all cross our arms and tell everybody you suck it.
I didn't know what that meant when I did it.
Break it down.
I was in like
Like,
third
all
grade.
the
So
damn- The intros were just so good, like so catchy.
Dude, the music alone,
Yes.
like Motorhead,
Yes.
freaking who's that guy you like for Edge's intro?
Oh yeah.
Metal
Alter
Rob
Bridge.
Zombie.
Yeah.
I like the
Alter
Rob
Bridge.
Rob
intro.
Zombie. Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Edge's Alter Bridge.
Dude,
Yeah.
he had different ones that I liked.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Even Jericho, I liked his.
Yeah.
Like, break down the walls of Jericho. Yeah. Regardless, like it is a good documentary. I've only ever been able to watch it once. Like I can't watch that again.
Yeah, it's a bit much. Like if you know the type of person he is, you know what you're getting into. Even like I knew that Vince McMahon was a piece of shit. I just didn't know how bad it was going to get
Oh,
until I
I
watched
kind
the
of expected it to
documentary.
be really bad.
It was just nuts.
Yeah, Jen and I, like when I watched the documentary the first time, I'm like, oh my god, this guy's going to hell probably.
Very much so.
Like honestly, I felt bad for Linda
Mhm.
because the stuff that because she probably knew a lot of this stuff.
Oh,
Oh,
she
yeah.
most likely
And-
did. I mean,
And the fact that she still played along with a lot of it, I was like, girl, like either you're crazy or you're really,
mhm.
really were supporting your man.
And just to know that he's over here with these allegations and she's like, what, managing the board of education now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I like the fact that a lot of the wrestlers are in politics now. Like we had Sergeant Slaughter, not Jesse the Body Ventura came governor. Kane is now governor.
No, I think Kane is just a mayor.
Oh, mayor.
Just
Oh,
Okay,
but still, like,
still politician, man. The Big Red Machine is now the Big Red politician.
the big red mayor, you mean?
The Big Red mayor.
Choke slammed a guy on stage in a suit.
Right?
Great.
He
Or
veto
not-
something.
For not agreeing with his politics.
Matt,
Hey, that's how they used to do it back in the day, is that they beat the shit out of you.
Matt,
Like if you disagreed.
he chokeslammed Daredevil. Not in my town. I mean, definitely check it out though, folks. It's on Netflix. It's just one of those like if you grew up with wrestling like we did, oh my god, dude, it's like yeah.
There's
And it really
no-
was no chance for
Yeah.
anybody that came across him. Dude, like this sort of guy.
And also like what's that? That American Gladiator.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet. Well, I watched like a little bit of the beginning, and it seems like it's gearing up to be something just as
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
I
Wait till you
want to
get-
watch it.
Wait till
but
you get to the parts about the co-ed locker rooms.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Like I
My
do want to
God.
finish it and watch it, but after watching the Vince McMahon one,
Yeah.
I'm like a little hesitant.
Yeah, dude, like looking back, a lot of the stuff we grew up with
Mhm.
is very tainted. Like
Yeah.
very
Oh,
tainted.
the Nickelodeon documentary.
Yes.
Oh my fuck!
Oh my
my
God.
God.
I couldn't finish it. I had like one
I-
episode left and it fucked me up. I couldn't finish it.
Another one that's really messed up is the Lisa Frank one.
Yes.
Oh,
The artist lady from the
yeah.
90s?
Oh my god.
Lisa
Yes.
Frank.
I wanted
Glitter
to
and
cry.
greed.
She was
Jeez.
everywhere.
Yes.
I don't know what she looks like, but I've seen so much of her work.
Yeah.
It was never even her. She didn't draw
Nope.
one damn
Nope.
thing.
No,
No.
it was never her.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
She didn't draw anything.
No.
So she
Yeah.
took credit for someone's work.
That was the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Holy
the thing.
shit.
Yeah. She was the face, basically.
Yeah.
She was the name in the face
Yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
thing, but like all the animators had to draw in that aesthetic.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
But she had a whole team of people
Yeah.
that were just drawing.
She was the
Sure.
original. She was the
And then
original
she would
Sniper Wolf.
Yeah, there you
approve-
go. I was gonna just
approve or not approve and
Yes.
tell them to change things or whatever or scrap
Yeah,
it.
it's crazy.
So she would get the final decision, but she did not draw one damn
No.
thing.
Yeah. I'm just
That's a
waiting
hard
for a
director.
lamb chop documentary. Just messed me up even more. Dude.
Yep.
Don't
what?
you fucking say
I know.
anything
I hope Arnold
about
Stein didn't rape anybody.
you leave you
That'd be
leave the
everything.
Muppets alone. Any Muppet, I don't give a shit. If it's a
Yes.
puppet, you don't leave them alone.
I
Yes.
know.
I mean, they like having their hand up its ass for it.
I mean, it's
Don't
just
knock it till
crazy,
you
man.
try
Like
it.
and this is our childhood. This is all we grew up with. It's like it's all tainted.
You know, it's
Not
funny
Mr.
that you say
Rogers.
that. You
No,
know,
not Mr. Rogers. He's the
It's
only
funny that you
clean
say that,
one of
Ed,
them all.
because the last episode John and I did of Game of Colleges, John was like, why is it every time we look at something that Matt likes, you just dig a little bit on the surface? It's all fucked up.
No, Matt always has these suggestions like, "Oh, we should do an episode about this," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then I Google that topic, and it's like a bunch of people got sexually assaulted, and all these. It's always
I'm
something
sensing a
horrible.
pattern here.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, the sad reality is that Earth's history is not only just built on lies, it's built on dead bodies, like
Oh,
thousands of dead
heavily. That's
bodies.
like a given.
Like the biggest example would be the Great Wall of China. I mean, thousands of dead bodies buried under that.
That or the amount of
Pyramids.
slaves, that made the
Pyramids of
pyramids.
Giza. Yeah,
Like, holy
it's just like
Oh,
that's our
gosh.
That's our history, man.
Predator made the
We're
pyramid.
not going so far.
Every-
Old town
Every
built over
Earth,
cemeteries.
built over cemeteries. Every piece of our
And you wonder why
history,
you're haunted? Why your cars go
dead
on school?
bodies. Our foundation of our history is dead bodies.
You know, Central Park used to be a whole
Yep.
black neighborhood.
It used to be
Jesus Christ.
history, baby.
And
Don't
then
you
they
just love it?
Don't you
Yep,
just
there's a
love
whole
it?
town underwater too,
You want to
under a
get
lake
depressed?
somewhere.
Oh,
Check
too.
out
God.
American history. Actually, not even American history, just history. Period.
History period.
Anyways, well,
There's good
hopefully
stuff.
John can recommend something.
Yeah,
or
something a
couple
little more
things.
upbeat. Not
Yeah,
over here
not
depressing
something
us.
fucked up.
Oh no. Okay. Well,
Hey,
I
I
got-
started with a good one, the documentary about
Yeah.
Arnold.
Yeah.
And then he ended up in a fucked up note.
Good times.
Well,
good times. What?
I had one. Oh, sorry. go
Hang
ahead.
on, John. Real quick. One last thing I want to say about the whole Vince McMahon thing, and Jen will back me up on this, dude. I used to love Vince McMahon so much to the point where I would walk like him,
Yes.
and then I would play his theme song as I
Mhm.
was walking by people.
Yep.
It was, and then just watching this documentary, like I will never walk like that ever again. I have a chance. He has no chance. No chance in hell.
Nope. That's
That's
what you
the-
got.
That song is so fitting for him
I
now,
know,
dude.
and
Like so fitting
I
for
think
him.
that's why he chose it.
You've got no chance. All right, John. Why don't you go ahead and liven things up a little bit?
Okay. Well, I had one, but you guys talking about documentaries reminded me of another one.
Oh my god.
Um, well, one day I was hanging out with my kid, and I wanted to watch something educational with him. So I go on Disney Plus,
Yay.
and I think they have it's National Geographic. I think
Nice.
they have on there. And I was looking through it, and I saw one about baby sharks, and it's just the cutest baby shark on the cover with big old stupid eyes. And I
Yeah.
was like, "This is great!" So I put it on, and right away you see a baby shark get ripped in half by a full-grown shark, and another baby shark up on the shore drowning, and it's just horrible, and it scared
Yeah.
my kid. So I don't recommend watching that with children, but it was very interesting. I mean, I turned it off because I
Yes.
thought it was going to be something cute. It looks really cute if you see the cover, but
Yeah.
yeah, watch
I
that one
know
by
the
yourself. It's
documentary you're talking
basically
about, by the way.
yeah, their lives are a horror movie.
Yeah,
But it's not cute at
starting
all.
in the womb, by the way.
Yes. They eat
Yeah, they
each other.
they
in the
eat
womb.
each other in the womb.
In the womb,
Yeah.
yeah.
They're playing on veteran.
Yeah, basically. They're spawn camping.
Well, the strong survive.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
insane.
But
Because
it's
imagine they're
super
doing that
gnarly.
in the womb, but imagine having to survive in the ocean.
Yeah.
It's
Like the
not boring
turtles.
for all the wrong reasons.
Basically, yeah. What'd you say, John?
I said it's not boring for all the wrong reasons.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
It's horrible.
Not boring
It's very
at all.
it's very captivating.
Yeah.
But it's fucked up. The other one, the original one I was thinking of is I know a lot of people are familiar with the movie because it was really popular, but
Oh wait, hang on. What's the name of the documentary? I forgot it.
I don't remember. I think it's just Baby Sharks.
Baby Shark? Okay. It's probably on
If you
Prime,
go on
right? Is it-
It was Disney Plus.
Oh, Disney Plus, okay.
Okay.
Oh, I
they
think I
do-
know
they
which
do-
one-
they do
I
I think I
stuff
know
like
which
that.
one it is. Yeah.
Like Shark Week, they have it on there.
Hmm.
But right. It was a really popular movie that I'm sure everybody's seen, but have any of you guys read the book, I Am Legend?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't.
And I think it's
I
called
read
Omega
Omega
Man, I
Man.
think.
Omega Man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the name of the
Well,
book.
that's the Charlton. No, the book's called I Am Legend. Omega Man is the 1975 Charlton Heston movie. That was weird.
Yeah.
That's the one.
But-
Okay, yeah. Originally, they made the film Omega Man based off the book, and then they made I Am Legend based off the book.
The Will Smith one, I think it's really, really good, but it
I liked
does
it.
take a lot. It takes a lot of liberties. They're both
Yeah, a
really
lot of
good,
liberties,
but they're different. Even with the way the story resolves itself at the end, it's completely different in the book. But But yeah, I thought it was really good, especially if you like it, you're still going to be surprised by what happens. I can't
Yeah.
really explain too many differences without just giving away the whole plot, because that's the
Mhm.
main difference is the plot. They're all vampires instead of
Yeah.
whatever they are in that movie. Zombie
But they
Ripless or
esque.
something
talk,
like
they
that.
can talk and everything
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, they
in
can
the
talk.
book and everything. Like they have like
Hmm.
full on like
They have the whole
conversations.
society. Yeah.
Yeah. They're not just
Yeah.
like
Like
weird zombie
zombie-ish.
Mm-mm.
vampires. I don't,
Well,
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, they're
he
full.
mostly sees the ones who surround his house are mostly they still talk, but they're mostly feral. They just kind of scream his name, tell him to come
Yeah.
outside,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
but he's not aware that there's that society until they come for him.
Yeah.
That's when he finds out, like, oh shit,
They have a
everybody's
hierarchy.
vampires. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I don't know if you want me to just spoil the whole thing. That kind of ruins it. I'd like to encourage people to go read it if you haven't, because it's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, if
It's
you
a
want to
really
keep
really
it
good
If
spoiler
book.
you've
free,
if you've
you know.
seen the film, definitely read the book because
Mhm.
it's a complete 180.
Yeah,
Like for one, it's not caused by the mumps virus or I forget the virus that takes over the country.
and the dude's
To,
Robert Neville's not a scientist.
no, he's not a
Mhm.
scientist. He's just a regular guy who survived for some reason. And yeah, like the creatures in it, they're not, these mindless feral
Mhm.
individuals. They're actually some are surprisingly smart. And the guy that he there's one particular character in there that
Yes.
he has a run-in with, I guess, and it's like almost like almost like Matrixy, like
Mhm.
Mr. Smith and Neo, in the sense of their encounter. If you
How do you mean? Like, because like which parts with Neo and Agent Smith
Not in the film, in the book.
in the Matrix?
No, in the
Matrix is
No,
a
book.
no.
In
book.
the book, the Omega Man. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm Legend.
I'm Legend.
yeah, but he says like Neo and Agent Smith,
You know how
like
like they have
they're
their first encounter, and like Neo is kind of like
Neo
indifferent.
freaks out and
Yeah,
doesn't and like tries to run away.
exactly. That's kind of how their first running is. I forget the name of the character that because he has a name, right? Right, John, the character,
I'm thinking of. I don't think I'm thinking of the same character you are.
the one
It's,
that's good that wants to that the one that goes after the guy, the main guy in I Am Legend in the book.
oh yeah, they well they trick him. They send
Mhm.
they send the woman. I mean that's spoilery, but yeah, the woman Will Smith finds in the book is a completely different type of character,
Yeah,
and yeah, it's kind of like a I don't
red.
know how to say it without just giving away the whole.
I guess you can call it a red herring, maybe, or maybe a catfish
I
esque.
like catfish better.
Catfish.
Yeah,
So in the book, they're vampires.
Yes, they're
Yep, full on.
vampires.
Don't like crosses, garlic, holy water. The whole.
Oh, the
hmm
I don't
works.
know if they do
And
holy
how did
water.
they? Are they? Where's the setting in this? In the
I don't remember.
I think it's still New
is
York.
it still in New York?
It's Utah of all places. It's
Oh my
fucking
God, that's
Utah.
right.
Utah.
It is Utah.
Now,
Robert Neville worked in
I'm
a
making that
factory.
up. I don't
Okay,
He's
and
making.
then
No, wait, you might be right though, Matt.
so okay, so they're
Utah isn't real.
vampires, but
There's nothing out there.
do they? I mean, do they explain how they got there, or they've always been there, or what?
I don't. I honestly don't remember. It's been a few years.
Yeah, you're talking about the one by the 1954 one, right,
Yeah,
John? Okay, that's the one by Richard
the old one.
Matheson. That's the one.
Yeah, that's the name. I
Yeah,
worked in the SDSU library like 4 or 5 years
yeah.
ago,
So
and I used to
Oh,
just read all their books.
I Am
oh,
Legend
nice.
from 54 is an adaptation from The Last Man on Earth and the Omega Man, and then they adapted it one more time into the 2007 I Am Legend with Will. It was an inspiration on George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead.
Oh,
Yeah, just goes to show you that like this book inspired
I
quite a
can
few things.
see. Yeah, I can see why the Will Smith movie adapted them as zombies. Then, kind of
Hmm.
looking.
Well, I mean, George.
Oh, Gardena, California, Matt. in 76.
See, I told you I was making that Utah shit up.
No, but I wouldn't have been surprised,
I
honestly.
told
But
you
it's
I
in
was wrong.
California then. And
Yeah,
and the
Sunny
year is
Cali.
1976.
Yeah, Robert Neville is the guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, it's a
but
pandemic that turns humans into vampires.
Oh.
There you go.
Okay, so there is some sort of biological
Hmm.
component to
But they are
yeah,
like full-fledged vampires where like
it?
garlic
Okay.
is bad against them,
Yes, the
crucifix and all that.
works for
Yeah,
actual vampire.
yeah.
Oh,
Like
okay. That's
yeah,
how that happens.
the entire premise of the story is him basically surviving.
Oh, okay. That
Yeah.
sounds interesting.
Hmm.
It does sound a lot different than the
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, the movie wanted to make it a little more unique,
Okay.
but regardless, like the only reason Neville is still alive is because I guess he has an immunity to the infection.
In
Mm.
all honesty, when I was watching the movie of Will Smith, I had no idea what they were. I thought it was just some sort of de-evolved human that just kind of became a freak, and they were cannibalistic.
Mm. At first, I thought it was like
I had
something
no
like
idea
rabies or
they
something,
were.
but with humans.
Yeah, I had
Hmm.
no idea they were supposed to be zombies
I
until
wouldn't call
someone
them
told me.
Yeah,
zombies.
because like zombies can walk out and these guys don't
Hmm.
really do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
zombies act very differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, regardless, like the book and the movie are like complete 180 from each other, but they're still both good. Like I personally did like the movie. It has two endings. One where it's like not as happy, and the other one where I guess people were kind of stunned by it. In the sense that you see some of the creatures acting a certain way, and Will realizes that like, oh, these creatures are they've made their own hierarchy or whatever you want to call it. But regardless, it's one of those movies that it didn't do so well, but it was still pretty good. Like one particular scene, and I know Lane hates this scene.
Oh,
Oh,
don't talk about it.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna talk about it, but I know she knows the scene I'm talking about. And believe it or not, that scene, Lane, got an award for one of the most hated scenes in a film. I
I
think
don't
he
I
got a
know what
Razzie
scene
for
it
it.
is.
God, so
Yeah,
such a horrible scene.
it is a horrible scene.
Can I
Are
give you
you
a
talking
key
about
word?
dog?
Yes, that's all I have to
Sam.
Oh,
say. Okay, we
that
don't
was
need to
Sam.
say
bad.
That's all
anymore.
I'm gonna say, Sam. Yeah.
The
The
dog's
best
very different in the book too.
yeah, the dog is different.
Yeah, the dog.
It's
That
kind of
yes, the
Almost
book.
like Scooby Doo-ish in the book. He's a little Scooby Doo-ish in the book. Like it's definitely a book. Like I would recommend that book to read and then watch the movie just so you can see the different perspectives that they go with.
Do you think the
I
book is better, John?
well, I think they both stand on their own as separate
Yeah.
things, and I think just with the years we were born, like we probably, in my case, I saw the Will Smith movie and then was looking for something to read in a gigantic library and looked into it and found out there was a book and discovered the book later. I think that's the perfect order because if you like grow up as a fan of the book and then get
Hmm.
excited the movie comes out, you'll be like, they changed everything. What the fuck?
Yes.
But
Mm-hmm.
I think if you do it like I did, which was backwards,
Hmm.
I don't know what's the terminology. It circumvented my expectations and
Yeah.
surprised me, and I thought it was good.
Well, it's not the only movie that's done that. Like Jurassic Park, if you read the
Yeah, I read
book
that too.
and then
The
watch the
second one's
movies,
fucked.
dude, they are messed up.
Yeah, my brother
Um,
put talking about Jurassic Park. They actually
Yeah.
put some guy went ahead and did the animation of what actually happens in Jurassic
I
Park in
saw
the
Yeah.
that on
book.
TikTok.
Did you
Yeah,
see it?
yeah,
Yeah,
I saw
dude. I
parts of
was
it.
like, damn.
Just goes to show you that in some occasions it is better to watch the movie first and
I,
then go and check out the
the book
book.
is just really brutal. I was like,
Yeah. It,
It
it
should have a
was
and
parental advisory on it
yeah.
yeah,
because of the
Like
movie.
no,
same
and then
thing same thing with it, huh, Matt?
yeah,
I've read
yeah,
it. I've read it
Yeah, the book was way
5
worse.
times.
Yeah,
There's some
it's just
stuff in that book you can't film.
no, you
yeah. When
yes,
cannot.
you,
You'd go to
No, you
you'd
yeah,
go to
cannot.
prison.
Yeah, you
yeah.
will go to prison. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
it's just, I mean, nothing against the books, and they obviously inspire the film,
Hmm.
But I do like it when sometimes films do take liberties and they do change stuff to help it be more digestible.
Hmm. Hmm.
Cause I mean, yeah, if you were to put the stuff that they use that you read in Jurassic Park on
Yes.
screen,
Yes.
those movies would not exist.
No, but see, I like the way that Steven Spielberg went about it.
Hmm.
He was very tasteful with,
The
yep,
murders.
yep.
The murders.
And no, but
But
the
what you
storytelling was still good.
Yeah,
It was
but what
still
you
about dinosaurs. It was still about,
yeah.
I was gonna say
feeling.
is like one
Yeah.
trick that Quentin Tarantino did. This was for Kill Bill.
Uh-huh.
That movie would have gotten like an X rating
Yeah.
or
For one particular scene.
for when Uma Thurman she go or the bride she fights the crazy 88 and chops them all up. That's
Yeah.
why they switch it to black and white is because if they were to leave it in color
Uh-huh.
with all that blood,
Hmm.
Yeah.
it was circumvented or surpassed.
The
Excuse me.
NC-17
The
rating.
rating, yeah.
Yeah, the
Not
rating
just
for
not
rated
just
R.
that, Matt. You remember the scene where she's still in a coma and one of the
No,
orderlies is basically
pimping.
pimping her out?
Oh yeah, my name is Buck and I like
Yeah,
to fuck.
they were
Hmm.
gonna be more graphic with that scene originally.
No, I like the fact that they left it to,
Yeah,
kind of like, what he
yeah.
was doing, like.
I
Yeah,
mean,
but
yeah. I mean,
but
and the crazy part is that Uma was she was willing to go for it.
Hmm.
yeah, but even if they were like even with the removal of that scene and but still that fight with the crazy
Yeah,
88, if it was still in color, like it wouldn't have been approved. So that's why Quentin Tarantino changed the scene to black and white. So
yeah.
if they wanted to do Jurassic Park book accurate, they would
Hmm.
probably have to do a lot of it in black and white.
Not just that, they would probably just
Hmm.
do an exposition scene
Hmm.
where you can see what's gonna happen, but you don't see the act.
Yes.
Like it's implied,
Yes.
but you don't see it.
I really need to like check some of this stuff out for
Dude, read
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic
Yeah,
Park, man.
Jurassic Park
Oh
is.
yeah.
Not just that, Starship Troopers, based on also a
Yeah.
book,
Dude, the
way more
comic books
messed
are
up.
fucked up. I've read
Way
the
more
comic
messed up.
books of Starship Trooper.
Yeah,
In the book, they have like Iron Man
yeah, they have mech
armor.
suits in that one, but
Oh,
there's way more
okay.
messed up scenes in that,
Oof.
and a lot more sexual content.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Well, there
but
was
they
a good
can.
amount of sexual content in the movie.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, but in this one, it's like
it was still tasteful.
every other chapter, either Carmen is getting on with Johnny or Dizzy's getting on with Johnny,
They're
and
just cheering Johnny on
yeah,
at this point.
They thought they were gonna die.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
You know what? We're gonna die. Let's fuck.
Regardless,
I
like
Well, I mean,
mean,
what else would you do?
regardless,
point.
this is it's just goes to show you that sometimes a a play-by-play translation from a book just doesn't work. Like
Well,
certain parts,
rating wise, it wouldn't work.
even if it weren't rating wise, maybe there's some scenes people don't want to see in the big screen.
But there's a
Yeah.
lot that do.
Like going back to Kill Bill, Matt, you know the scene where she's fighting Gogo. So you know how she kills her
Which one
by
was Go Go again?
the little schoolgirl.
Oh, with the
With the
chain ball.
You know the scene where she kills her by putting the nail board right through her head?
Yeah.
You know how they cut to it right then and there when it happens? They weren't originally going to do that. Originally, what they were going to do, have her hit her in the head, see the nails coming out from the other side, and then just blood pouring all through her face. And then Uma pulls out the thing, and then blood just splatters everywhere, including brain chunks. That was the original scene.
You know, I don't that would have been super cool to see, but I don't know why the committee would be like, "Oh, that's not cool." When
Well,
in
for one,
Blade
Gogo's
2,
supposed to be underage. She's like 16, I think.
right?
Is she?
But
Yeah.
Oh.
okay, so it's a murder of a child, whatever.
Yeah.
You see
Mhm.
that in the anime
Whatever.
all the time.
Well,
Murder of a
yeah,
child.
but I mean,
Keep in mind, this was in the 90s, right? Is it 90s?
No, Kill Bill was made in the early 2000s.
Well, it's still when like it was still not it was still very frowned upon to see a child's death portrayed on the screen. That's part of the reason why Robin was an older
I
teenager
mean,
in the Batman series
but
and the animated series.
so you're
Oh.
saying that it's okay to get away with it if it's animated? Because didn't Cottonmouth's story kind of, especially with that one Yakuza was?
But did they show it?
That was a pet. Yeah, that she was seducing the pedo.
Oh
but
no,
then
she
she
kills.
kills- yeah.
She kills him.
I
though.
know, but she still isn't she still like
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, fucking Quentin Tarantino uses a
Cottonmouth.
full animated
Yeah.
scene
Mhm.
to tell Lucy Liu's
Yeah.
backstory,
Yeah.
and it's a fucked up story.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the reason they went animated with that one.
So I'm like, wait a minute. So it's okay. So they can get away with it
If it's
animated.
animated. Well, there's certain limits, you know.
Like, what's the?
No, not dude. Ed, you haven't seen some fucked up shit. Like, there's a
I mean,
lot of
Akira.
fucked
I
up
mean,
shit.
watch Akira.
Oh my
Like, if you
God.
want some messed up kids
Or
getting
no,
messed up.
watch Kite.
Sailor Moon is 14 and takes her clothes off in every episode.
That's true. Yeah. Like when I
So
found
that's the pass. If it's animated, you can get away with it.
a little bit. Yeah.
Yes, I think it's weird. I'm out. I'll just read
Yeah.
books.
I don't know. They made those girls kissing cousins, and that was fucking weird too.
Not just that, they
Oh,
had
yeah.
two that were dudes in their human form, and then they transformed and they were chicks.
I think they
What
just
the
had short
fuck
hair.
are you talking about?
Sailor
You talking
Moon,
about
Sailor
Uranus
Moon.
and Saturn?
Yeah.
No,
No,
those
they
were
were just-
girls.
They were girls.
No, there
It
was
just-
two. Not them. There was two that were dudes, and then they transformed and they turned into girls.
They just kind of look like dudes.
You
Kinda.
talking about the one with the short blonde hair that
Yeah,
dressed
that
very
one.
masculine? Lesbian,
lady.
fool. That's a lesbian.
Yes.
That's a fucking lesbian. What are you talking about? You see them
She
all the
said-
time.
She's
Girl,
like, wait a minute. Let me correct your ass. What?
her girlfriend is Sailor Mercury.
Uranus and Saturn, or
I think
don't
so.
No,
Yeah.
I don't
it's
really
Sailor
know.
Moon.
It's Uranus and Mercury. They're
Yeah.
girlfriends.
Ah, okay.
But in America, they weren't allowed to be girlfriends like they were in Japan, so they referred to them as cousin. They're
Oh,
cousins.
okay.
But
It was
they're
still kinda-
girlfriends.
I remember
It's
those.
still pretty bad.
Japan, they are
It's still pretty
very
bad.
much gay.
Yeah, it's still
Yeah.
pretty bad.
I mean, you can tell. Like, you're not even.
yeah,
Yeah.
good time.
Just because.
Our childhood, everybody. Our childhood.
Wasn't it lovely?
Oh man.
I mean, I
But
give
I
them
think
credit
that's-
for the inclusion, but they still got
Yeah.
14-year-old girls taking their clothes off. I'm not gonna watch that.
Yeah.
It's weird. There's lines. I have lines.
They have been drawn.
They've been drawn on.
Yeah.
They're visible and clear.
Yeah.
Oh man. I mean, it's just it's wild. We grew up. I think our growing up was pretty wild.
What?
Looking back at
We're
it.
pretty much
Yeah.
desensitized.
So
Remember SWAT cats?
anything,
Somebody
Swag ass
briefed
was
anybody
pretty
on SWAT cats.
good. Yeah.
so anything that we recommend, don't look under the surface.
Yeah. If we traumatized anybody
Yeah.
on this episode, we apologize.
Yeah.
But if you
This
grew
did
up
get
with it
weird.
as well, let us know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. Let us know what you watched.
Or better yet, tell us some of the messed up stuff you've watched.
For real though. Like,
Porn doesn't count.
Honestly, looking back at it, some of the shows we watched were kind of on the softcore side,
Yeah.
man.
mm-hmm.
Like some of the soap operas, Mexican soap operas.
Oh,
they had,
yeah.
oh my goodness.
No, they just have gotten more now. Like, I'm like, that might as well just be fucking porn, dude.
Yeah.
At this point.
I liked Reboot. That didn't have like half naked ladies and stuff. That was a great show.
It
Sonic
was.
Quest.
Oh my gosh, dude.
It wasn't all weird. It's just you just remember the weird ones.
Yeah.
They were more memorable.
Yeah, man, it sticks with you. The weird sticks with you. Just goes to show you, like, yeah, the weird stuff will always stick with you. But all right, let's go ahead and wrap it up. Anybody got one last thing, or just one last recommendation, or just go ahead? And wrap
No, but I was gonna say something when he was talking about sharks.
it? Mhm.
Have you seen the documentary of Sharks versus Crocs
Oh yeah, John.
and how they can go into each other's?
Did you
like,
know that they've had a long-standing feud? Sharks and crocodiles, they don't like each other.
Why not? They're both so cute.
Yeah, but
I
dude,
know, but they
they
have beef
literally,
like
they
for
literally
you,
have
like
beef. It's a mob,
years.
like two mobs going at it each other. They will go
Well,
out of
they're-
their way to kill each other.
Yep. Well,
If
they're
there's
young.
one shark or one alligator or crocodile in an area, that's kind of like the apex predator. So if there's
No. But
one of
dude,
each,
they will
like-
go into each other's turf
Yeah.
and mess each other up
Yeah, because the supposedly
in Florida.
Yeah, the what is it? The sharks
oh, there's
Yeah.
bath salts in the
go
water.
to nest in the what this the water the
Swamp?
crocodile territory. Yeah, so they go in there to And then they've noticed that the crocodiles will actually go into, salt in the ocean. They'll
Yeah,
go
in the
into the
saltwater ocean.
yeah.
Just to mess up some sharks.
And I'm like, oh, well, and
Yeah.
they've recorded this feud for a long time now.
Yeah,
They've,
it's
they've
been going on for centuries, apparently.
Yep.
Like since the dawn of
Man.
But it's
time.
very interesting, dude. It's
Since
Yeah.
the dinosaurs.
No,
Man, you
yeah,
hear
no,
about
dude,
those
it's crazy.
you hear about those two orcas
Oh,
in the South Africa that are fucking
yes.
have chased all the sharks away because they've developed a taste for shark liver because the equivalent of
Mhm.
one
Yep.
shark liver is like eating like fucking 30 fucking fish or some shit like
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
So they're
Yeah.
like, so now like there's no fucking sharks, so all the tourism that used to do all the sharks has just died off.
Yeah.
No fucking sharks anymore because of these two orca whales.
Yeah.
This
Dude,
shit
Yeah.
is
orcas
wild.
orcas are getting brazen. Like there's another one where
Orcas
it's
have
a
always been like that. They're
Mhm.
no, but
super.
they're getting more aggressive. Like there's another one and it's a pod. It's an entire pod.
An
It's like
entire.
8 of them.
Hmm.
And they're going out and physically trying to knock over boats.
Yep.
Like they are targeting boats.
Mhm.
I remember that. I was like, yeah, get a murder whale.
Yeah, dude, they've
Fuck
had
you in
enough.
your
Like
yacht.
this is their turf. The ocean's
Well,
their
can you
turf.
blame them? People are
Overfishing,
yeah.
polluting the water. Yeah,
I don't blame them. I
they've
mean,
had enough
you're
of
like, you
it.
come to our turf, we're gonna mess you up.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, why are they? What are they doing out there anyway?
Fishing for
People.
crabs,
Yeah.
Alaskan
I
crab.
mean, can we not make a robot that does that now?
Right.
I know.
Just
No, John. That's how
no.
the androids get us.
All right. All right. Well, that's gonna do it for this episode, folks. As always, thank you for tuning in. If you're watching us on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. Same as in Spotify. If you want to reach us, hit us up at the Media Buff Guy Podcast Instagram. As always, make sure you check out Maono. It's our go-to mic. Use code word Media Buff to get 10% off your first purchase. They are having a sale going on right now, so any items that is discounted, you can actually use our code to get an additional 10% off. So definitely check it out, help us out. So with that being said, everybody said bye.
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 Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Have a good night.
And don't have nightmares.